memory east of Omaha. Listen to the engines moaning out his one old song. You think about the woman, the girl you knew the night before. But your thoughts will soon be wandering.
All right, I'm doing a big news blitz, but continuing with your phone calls at 1-800-259-9231. We're going to be simulcasting for the next 2 hours and 27 minutes that we have left in the syndicated broadcast. We normally simulcast the last 2 hours at PrisonPlanet.tv, but some days we simulcast more, obviously. Big news blitz coming up right now. I want to hit what's really happening in Iran and in North Korea right now, and how on this global grand chessboard all of this feeds in and is connected. The establishment crafts its propaganda to be very lowbrow, very simple, targeting the largest swath of the population, the lowest common denominator. And so John Bolton, Zbigniew Brzezinski, all the planners from Bush and Obama are all publicly bragging that they're staging all this in Iran right now. But they're like the match that lights the fire. The fire takes on a life of its own. And the people rioting have some legitimate claims. So this isn't a black and white issue. You have to pull back geopolitically and decide what is most moral to support and what is most moral to do. And I have wrestled with this. That's why for a week I said I couldn't really comment. I said my heart is with the protesters, but I said that can be deceiving, what's being presented. There's a fog of disinformation and war. But now we have a very clear picture. And so over a week into the rioting and death on both sides, I can comment on that, and North Korea. Just the situation is very, very grave, very, very serious, rivaling the Cuban Missile Crisis in the early 1960s. We've seen nothing of this magnitude since then, and it's clear on every front the New World Order is launching offensives against free humanity on the grand chessboard, trying to take out the last few countries they don't control. Obviously, North Korea is horrible. Obviously, the mullahs are corrupt, do a lot of bad stuff. They're not as sophisticated or one-tenth as evil as the globalists, and not a threat to this nation, certainly. But the issue is the globalists can go, oh, look, we're fighting North Korea, we're fighting the mullahs. Why is that happening now, though? What's the bigger picture? And what is the history? And, of course, the mullahs are in about 5 different blocks as well and constantly fighting with each other. So I could criticize the mullahs that are hereditarily related to Muhammad, but then it's almost like a legislature. It's like a royal system, but it's also legislative because the system votes their own people in and out. And then they, of course, do allow free elections. That's been documented. So it's a very, very strange system they created. But if you're going to criticize it, because it is bloodline related, you can't be on these councils unless you're related to Muhammad from Saudi Arabia. What's Saudi Arabia today? Mecca. The problem is to try to give people a detailed breakdown, it's so complex. That's why it's just easy for the government to go, oh, look, they're killing innocent women. Let's attack them. Oh, yes, with smart bombs. So, oh, smart bomb hit the wrong building, killed 300. Oh, another hit a car and killed 50 around it. Yeah, little kids' arms and legs blown off. But we're not going to show you the little kids. There are those videos out on the web of a little kid with his, his bottom half blown off, crawling, and then the lights going out of his eyes, just like a light bulb turning off. I mean, we could show you that. We don't show you that to make you be anti-war because it's so horrid. We are forced to show the footage they're showing on CNN and Fox, though, in many cases unedited. Been watching CNN this morning. Sometimes they show her dying and the blood pouring out, and other times they blur the face. So I don't know what the psyop is there. Or it may just be different producers call on it. But we're going to show you the unedited video. Some people distrust the media so much they're saying it's fake. If it's fake, We know Jerry Bruckheimer on record staged the rescue of Jessica Lynch. Jessica Lynn. Time passes. Who was the girl? Jessica Lynch? Yeah, Lynch. I mean, that's admitted. Jerry Bruckheimer told the BBC that Iraqis saved her. The U.S. had already taken over that area. The Iraqi doctors came to their checkpoint and said, we have an American here and some dead from the shootout on the road. The Republican Guard has pulled back. So they said, okay, we'll be there in a little while. Sent troops, met with them, said, okay, we're going to come get the bodies. And then staged kicking in the doors and beating up the doctors. And, you know, the doctors were in there trying to kill her. And then Lynch later said, no, they saved us and this is all fake. And I didn't fight the people off. They wanted to sell women in the military. Then the family of the people that actually did fight the Republican Guard off and got killed, a Hispanic gentleman, they came and murdered some of those families. I remember this was in the news. The people that survived in her unit would be cooking hamburgers in their backyard in Phoenix, and a guy in a black uniform would pop up and double tap him in the head from 25 yards. You know, special ops murders. That was in the news at the time, but I'm already digressing. You know, you see fake stuff like that, but Bruckheimer, I don't think, could do a woman dying, the light going out of her eyes like this. If you haven't seen somebody die up close, and I've seen it repeatedly, you don't know reality when you're seeing it. Now, they could have morphed over a woman's face, another woman dying in a hospital of a car wreck or something. You know, they got tricks, but it's hard to fake somebody really dying. All the Hollywood movies I've seen, when somebody goes, you know, and dies, they're trying to fake it, but it just isn't like watching the soul go out of somebody, the essence. Anybody who's seen somebody die up close has seen it. I mean, their eyes will be open, and you'll literally just see the light go out. I'm just like, zzz, there's something like coming out. But side issue, very, very touching, very, very poignant. And I'm sure she thought when she was out there protesting that it was a great thing she was doing. And you can't help but support her. And it's designed so that they can bomb all the water treatment plants and all the schools and all the colleges and kill over 1 million, just like Iraq. Well, they've killed 1,300,000 in Iraq, according to British medical journal Lancet, who's nonpartisan and highly respected. And Iran has almost, well, it's more than double. It's almost triple. They got almost 3 times the population of Iraq. And when the U.S. funded the attack on Iran in the 80s, that killed over 1.5 million Iranians and 300,000 Iraqis. So the Iranians won't give up. So I'd probably say that if they just bombard them, it'll kill, to blow up their infrastructure, 60,000, 70,000. But if they actually do some type of big civil war or invasion out of Iraq, millions. And so you got to ask yourself, you want to get all emotional and call for the attack on Iran? Do you want to, say, turn it into a glass parking lot because that woman died? How about we nuke? And because they're talking about using nukes against Iran. You know, how about we kill 1 million? Because this one woman's dead. How about we kill whole houses full of kids and whole houses full of women? See, they always dehumanize the Iraqis and never show you on the news the dead kids and the dead families and the troops sitting off the side of the road shooting truckloads of families and laughing about it as the families fall out dead. And the military says, well, the troops thought they were threatened by the family. And on the audio, they're laughing. But see, when they want to make them humans, oh, look at this beautiful young lady. And they'll show the Iranian people, and folks are like, well, they look like us, or a lot like us. They look, you know, like clean-cut, sharp, smart people. Well, I thought they were saying, you know, N-words, glass parking lot. You know, it's this sickening attitude. Let's nuke them. Let's see now, oh, our humanity, oh. Meanwhile, the police are being overrun. The revolution looks like it's being beaten back for now, but you never know. This stage color revolution. They're attacking and killing police, beating them to death all over the country on video. And the police, when huge crowds are climbing up the barricades, setting buildings on fire, are selectively shooting people to drive them back. And that's how the revolution in Lexington and Concord began. But that was a real revolution of the colonies. And you better believe that Sam Adams was there manipulating the whole situation. But he believed their cause was right. They wanted to have the confrontations. They wanted to get the fight started. So you got to morally decide who's running this fight and is it moral. And when you find out the CIA and the New World Order, the ones putting IQ reducer in your tap water, the ones shooting your kids up with mercury and saying mercury's good for children's brains on the news, when you realize they're the ones, no doubt, orchestrating this, even the CIA even picking the color green, because that's the Islamic color,